I know it's just me and myself, and I'm out in nature on the trails. I'm in control of my time and what I want to do. When I got told that Chinese don't run and we're not going to be good at it, I think I decided I was going to prove them, my parents' family, wrong.
Race was something I was like, I don't want to be the Asian playwright. I don't want to be one of those Asian playwrights. I just want to be a playwright. I want people to like my plays because they're well written, not because they're Asian. And then, you get to a point where you're like, okay, I've not been writing about Asian things. That's kind of weird. And why? You have to interrogate why you're avoiding something as well. And it's not sometimes for the reasons you told yourself.
My parents migrated to New Zealand because they wanted a better life, more opportunities. They were basically told what job they could do after they finished uni. It wasn't easy for them, I think. I remember they had to, sell like everything that they owned to be able to move here.
My dad, he would have been about 30 and he had worked in China for a while, and so my parents grew up quite rurally. They grew up on an island called Chongming off the coast of Shanghai. A lot of people that came in that generation, China as a country was just so incredibly poor at that point in time.
My mum is a first-generation immigrant who came here when she was an adult with her family and married my dad. So I guess I'm kind of like 2.5 gen Chinese Kiwi.
We lived in Glen Innes in Northland, and it's the only Chinese in the whole school, I think, almost. Felt a bit like an alien.
Growing up in Christchurch is a funny one. Because you never want to be too hard on Christchurch because, it's your hometown. But you also have to recognise that it's a place with a lot of fraught history. And it kind of represents and embodies a lot of the worst characteristics of New Zealand sometimes.
What was really hard about high school was that I had moved from Auckland to Whanganui halfway through year 9. It was a really different cultural makeup, and there just weren't that many Asian people in the town. You know that this stuff happens and you experience it all throughout your childhood, and everyone has their own way of coping with it. And I personally just didn't really put up with any shit. It was kind of I'm like, cool, well, if you want to dish it out, well, you better take it back from me, There's
a real boys' club, patriarchal, tough mentality in Christchurch that was quite toxic to me in many regards. And I'm still sort of unpacking it now.
I actually wasn't sure what I was going to study or do at uni. I was actually really into fine art. I ended up changing to engineering just because I felt like it gave me both. It had problem solving, it had creativity, and I was able to work with numbers at the same time. Yeah. I guess it is breaking stereotype a bit.
My novel is about a second-generation Chinese woman who loves the outdoors, and she meets some other Chinese women out in the outdoors and has some adventures, and that's kind of about as far as I've got so far. I wanted to sort of place Chinese people in the outdoors because it's such a unique experience of New Zealand to be in the outdoors and to enjoy it the way that we do. And I feel like it's something that goes across language barriers and cultures, and I just wanted to sort of have other people in that space.
The question isn't where you're from, but why did you come here? Why did you come knowing what you would lose? What were you running from? And where will you go when there is nowhere left to go?
Scenes from a Yellow Peril, there's an experiment or an investigation of myself and my questions about identity that then have now become questions hopefully other people can ask themselves.
It was always something that I wanted to be able to do as a kid, represent New Zealand, to be able to wear that silver fern singlet and represent New Zealand has been, probably one of the best moments. Feel the pride of running for your country.